Hello, welcome back to anyone who's watching this after the stream. We're gonna wait for a couple of minutes until people join because I'm back from a stream that disconnected. So in the previous stream, we were talking about building this environment and we were talking about some settings for on Lumen and combining translucency with ray tracing and whatnot. So until everyone joins, I have glass material here. And let's wait in the chat. So guys, can you confirm that the stream is working again in the chat with me? Let's go. Until I get the yes, we will get back here. So we were placing some decals around. Hello, welcome back guys. Welcome back. All right. So I can't remember the previous questions from the previous stream because I lost the chat, but I remember the last question was about combining Lumen with ray tracing. So in a way, yes, that is possible. And I'm gonna give an example here. So at the moment, if we go and find our post-process volume, so all render settings you can access from the post-process volume regarding like global, I mean, you can access more from the word settings, but like the main ones, the basics, let's say, and like most of what you want is accessible through the post-process volume. So once you click on it, let's collapse these menus, and we have in the post-process volume our usual lens and color grading settings and the film settings, and then we have a global illumination, reflections, and also rendering features. So at the moment we're using Lumen for global illumination. Also, here's a pro tip or a tip. When you press F10 to collapse or uncollapse your side menus, so I'm gonna undock this from the sidebar, press F10 to bring this up and on. If you have this tab in the sidebar, so you prefer to work like this, you can actually pin a tab like so it's always on top of your UI if you don't want to open it every single time. All right, so this is a handy option here. Hey Ashish, welcome back. Alexander Badalko and JK, how's it going guys? All right, let's get back here. And oh, I need to select my post-process volume, not the sphere. So select that. And the setting we want to check on. So now if we switch the GI from Lumen to none, this is before and after. Basically, there is no global illumination anymore. And this is with Lumen. Difference is massive. And of course, what we see here is not any GI or something. It's the fog in our scene. And the blue is the skylight. So we are not getting anything from like, so yeah, you know how Lumen works. So if you get back, I'm gonna enable this back and get back to the post process, switch it back to Lumen. And the example I want to give here so we can get back to our environment, at the moment we're using raster. Let me put this slightly up, just slightly. We're using raster refractions, translucency, basically. So if you go to rendering features, you can go to ray tracing translucency, and change the type from raster to ray tracing. And you have much more accurate translucent surfaces. So yes, it's possible to combine ray traced refractions, for example, or reflections with Lumen, but they won't work 100% also as intended. So like now there are many things are ignored, like the volumetric fog. I believe in some areas the global illumination from Lumen, the reflections on these. If you're using ray traced reflections, so let's add, let me turn the music off. Sorry, like this. So if we switch the translucency back to raster, you will see, yes, this looks like raster translucent surface here, where we don't really have, it's not even close. But hopefully this will improve. For now, of course, I keep raster. I don't want any ray traced translucency for better performance, and I don't have as many reflective surfaces. And of course, by doing some material tweaks on this, you can like adjust slightly how it looks and how dark it is and whatnot. So you can get away with a lot. It looks also kind of cool as an effect. All right, let's get back to the topic of the stream, which is building this. So I don't know if I want to add the same decals here on these 3 areas, but you know what? Let's do it and do it fast. And not add a lot, just to give out the feeling like, yeah, it's not empty there too, right? So let's select a couple. Like so. Let's rotate. And let's make another copy. Let's rotate another 60 degree. Another one. And let's place it also here. I think well, oh, we're done. Okay, very cool. Very cool. So when we go to top view like so, yeah, we need to reduce them and slightly make them better, but from this perspective now things look right. For the first time, I'm getting much better idea about what's how things are coming along together. Very cool. Obviously needs to fix these, but it's okay. Yeah, especially these parts. You can see the patterns. Hey, Ashish. Hey, Yahya, I have a big issue with my PC, like video material and MetaHumans. Plugins are not working but in your brother PC, it's working. What is the issue? I don't know. Can you help me with that? Um, so like video material and MetaHuman plugin is not working. So this might be some C++ directories or some system files, um, some codecs. You need to figure out what type of error messages you are getting and Google the error codes and see if this can lead you somewhere, right? So if it's working on another computer and not working on yours, then it's 100% system error or some missing files or something. So you need to debug that. Nicole, how is it going? Thank you so much. I'm glad you find it awesome. To give you background on this project, it was initially done first as a basic, extremely basic and different looking block out inside Unreal Engine. And then I exported that block out to a 3D program. It was first Max, then Blender. Worked on very basic meshes. And here we have in the project mainly 2 or 3 materials across every single surface we have. Which is like if we focus mainly on the architecture and ignore like stuff like the statue. And the secret sauce is the decals, these guys. So these guys are everywhere. And if we select all of them, just check with and without, we can see how much decals are amazing and nice. And you can find amazing decals from Bridge. Go to Home, you will find the main categories, and we have decals here. And I'm using a couple of ones from Leakage here. Rafi, damn, I wish I continue Unreal Engine further. Will be locked in Indonesia for no reason. Oh man, you don't have a computer or something to help you create something, even if simple stuff? Any computer. I need to close the curtain because it's so sunny. How can you debug? To be honest, Ashish, Google is your best friend in your problem because there is a million reasons why that's happening to you, and we're not next to each other, so I know what's happening. But I gave you like the general direction you need to go to. So Google is your best friend, buddy. You may need to get an IT guy, for example. IT support could help if you don't have so much experience with computers. Who can fix your Windows or like the missing programs and whatnot. Nicole, thank you for explaining. Well, no problem. Decals are indeed amazing. I hardly ever use them, but I will now. I'm very glad you will start using decals. I think this is the first project I ever used decals like this, like so much, but it was a blast. It's just fun placing these decals around. There are just a couple of areas left before it looks much nicer. We have here and here stuff. Okay. 20 what's up? How is it going? 20 hope you have a good weekend to you and everyone here. Let's unclick here on the pin tab so we can see our UI and click on this button and move this all the way here and rotate it 60 degrees. So these are another type of decals that I'm using for here to separate between, like to help make better separation between materials, and the same on these corners. And we can do it just like this. So press shift when I'm moving my actor to move my camera with it. There we go. All right, so from top down view, we notice there are some places that could use some love. And these places here. And let's do this. Don't want to spend a million hours on these decals, but I think it's the only way to get things done right. So if you want to make it easier to control opacity of your decal, just make it bigger on the Z scale, right? Because if it's not, if it's like really short, like so, when you move it, it's like so hard to control opacity. It's either on or off. So when you make it like larger, you can really control how much decals you have. So let's say that's enough. Let's reduce this one here a little bit. My headphones are giving me such an annoying sound because battery is about to die. So let me bring my portable battery. Hey, 20. Yo, bro. Oh, sorry about the mic. I hit it by mistake. Sorry. Oh, I hope that didn't affect you guys on the mic. I'm great like always, and today is another great day. What about you, bro? 20, my man. I'm so glad you're having a great day, buddy. This makes me happy. So my day is also great. Having a blast with Unreal Engine, with these decals. So it's going great. Nicole, will you be using particle emitter for this project as well? Yes, actually you guessed it. I think it would look so nice at the very end to have some sort of particles or noise flying around, especially with this type of lighting. So yes, I'm planning on using something that's pre-made or maybe modify on it a little. It will be Niagara particles. Hello from Indonesia. Now I can run the Epic Launcher. Handoko, Red. Welcome, buddy, and welcome to the Unreal Epic Gang. Let's go. Hello to you too. Not the belt again. Holy shit, man! I wish I was this good at making stuff like this. It's really easy. Not belt. It's like I think, but at this point, I would say it's just how much time you put onto a project and like work on what is needed to make it look nice. Because the geometry is extremely simple. If I show you in Blender, there is like basically nothing that complicated, right? And the secret is just put materials and put so many decals and nice lighting. No, it's just how much time you spend on it, because that's a really, the more time you spend on something, the better it will look gradually with time. And always have a reference next to you, something to aim to in terms of how you want things to look, and whether in architecture, in materials, in mood, in lighting. And yeah, if it, so it's a process, I believe. And the best way to move forward is to do pieces. And I know at this point in the project that I can spend another month working on it. I didn't technically spend a month. I spent like combining, I don't know, but let's say 20 hours or something. I need to calculate that more. But yeah, I need to wrap up this today so I can start Clint challenge. It seems fun. And after the Clint challenge, I want to do something related in architecture. There is a challenge I wanted started last year but couldn't do because for, I'm gonna say, the simple reason for not to make any burnout. The long reasons, a laundry list, but we are planning as VR division on making something for our community in an Unreal Engine and mainly in architecture, having fun. So I think what is nice about architecture uh, is the ability to build almost any world. So one of the best tips I can give also on this belt, Maman, is to study more architecture, right? The more you understand about architecture, the easier it will be for you to build structures and environments and buildings that also feels right. So also always have a human scale mannequin inside your project, and while you're working, just make sure like things in a way fit properly. And this for me was kind of challenging because this is inspired like from movies and whatnot, and like brutalist architecture, and there's like big giant angry guards that are ready not to let anyone in, right? So yeah, let's place more decals and let's also read the chat. Tombal, hi again. Can I ask about what is the difference between GPU lightmass and Lumen? Welcome, Tombal. I'm not sure if you also asked the question if we can use Lumen with ray tracing combined. So I'm gonna answer that in a moment. There are a couple more answers. Hey, Sadiraf from India. Hello to you too, buddy. Gone through your Skillshare course on Archviz helped me as architectural student. That is so nice. I'm very glad to hear it helped you as an architectural student. There are more videos and courses and live streams all about architecture. So I'm glad we build a nice community of architects here and world builders, baby. Let's go. Not the belt. I'm still relatively new to game design, environment designing, but thank you for the tips. Not the belt. That's amazing, man. Good luck with your journey. And I would always focus on so this is for everyone, whether you are new or not. Well, I believe people who are not new, we already know this. It's just always look at things that are nice and understand what makes them nice. I think this is one of the best tips I can give for environment design, is always to look at what others are doing and try to break down why what we see looks the way it is and it's good. So it will help you understand composition, details, structures, lighting, set dressing, and so on. The most time consuming task, I believe, is set dressing when it comes to environment design. So you need first to block out, nail the blocking out and the gray boxing of your environments and take it from there. GPU lightmass is not for baked lighting and Lumen is for real-time lights. Surav, thank you for your answer. So Tombal Vex Berry, if you asked the question earlier on using Lumen with ray tracing or all these type of settings, you can in a way change. Oh my god, look at this performance. I think it's because I have so many decals at this point. The frame dips are scary. So let's bring a sphere. And let's give to this sphere material. That's because I'm also using ray traced reflections now. I'm getting these ray traced refractions. So if you go to the outliner and search for your post-process volume, in the post-process volume, you will find settings that are related to your camera lens and color grading and whatnot. But there are also settings related to the rendering features and your global illumination and all reflections. So first, at the moment now, we are using Lumen global illumination, meaning we have all of our lights and our scene looks good and we can change lighting dynamically. So if I decide that I don't want any light to come in, I can completely block it out and prevent any light from coming in. And now the scene is using my light sources, and it's also using the emissive surfaces as light sources as well. I have these to support it, but Lumen, you expect from lighting to behave the way it should, if I wanted to put it this way. Okay, so Lumen is it's dynamic. You can change lighting, materials, and meshes in real time and see the result also in real time without the need to wait to bake your lights. So with the GPU lightmass, you may get higher lighting quality results in specific scenarios, but you are not able in any way to interact with your scene like so in real time, because you need to wait for the lightmass to calculate all the lighting information in your scene and assign that information as light maps on your meshes to get the final result. And to achieve good results with lightmass, you need very high technical knowledge in how you unwrap your meshes and prepare your light maps and set your light map resolution and so on and so on and so on. Whether with Lumen, things just work. You add a light and boom, that's it. So that's the main difference, Tombal. Now, Lumen does not work with VR, so you can't use it for virtual reality projects or mobile projects. That's why we still need to learn how lightmass works and bake our lights and whatnot. But this depends on why are you using Unreal Engine. Do you need light maps? Do you need to create your projects for virtual reality or mobile? Or are you making cinematic films or architectural visualizations and so on, right? So I hope this answers help you on what is the difference between Lumen and GPU lightmass or the CPU lightmass, Tombal. I'm drinking more coffee and adding more decals. Let's go. All right, so from tab, you immediately notice things that are look wrong. I'm very glad it was a helpful answer, buddy. And let's add more here. For how long have you been using Unreal Engine, Tombal? And the same question for the rest. Tell me, guys, for how long have you been I forgot English. For how long have you been? You know what I want to say. For how long have you been using the engine, guys? Bruh. English as a second language can be tricky. I'm just kidding. Just need more coffee. For 2 months. Welcome. Nice. What are you using the engine for? Architecture, environment design? You told me also earlier, word... No, it was someone else. On world building, environment design. Yes, it was your boy Belt. So, architecture, I'm trying to guess. So, if you want to make this is fine. This here, should we care about? I mean, why not? Ah, by the way, we were talking about earlier here. Ah, Droxy for 7 months. Nice. So, post-process volume. Let's go to the details. Now we spoke about Lumen. Um, if we switch this to none, this is what you get. And you need to bake the light and wait for hours and hours. Now, we demonstrated this, so let's get back here and let's talk quickly about rendering features, the translucency section here. If there is a reason I would use ray tracing with Lumen, it would be mainly for translucency. Raster translucency usually looks like this. So let's select the post-process volume again. So this is what raster translucency looks like, and I think here it looks fine. It like really reflects how our environments and the lighting of it. You can of course change the material to like, we need to take in account when we're using materials. These materials should be designed in a way for refraction and translucency. This can be a topic for an Archviz live stream where I prepare a scene for this. But yes, I generally, for the final settings in high quality, I would turn on the translucency to ray tracing, and of course work on getting better material for my final settings with Lumen. Now this is not the best material, again, it depends on really where you look and where you're at and many other factors, but yes, it looks fine. Oh, I clicked on one. I wonder if I have any glass materials here. Yes. So let's turn this back to raster because I want higher performance. And something also to keep in mind for the post-process volume settings for Lumen view distance and max trace view. I don't think if it's visible here as much. Yeah, because I'm using also ray traced hardware when possible. Hardware ray tracing. So these are ignored. For now, I want to make like a cinematic video and architecture too. Nice. There is a challenge by Clint I would highly recommend joining. And if you want to learn, the more time you specify exploring these projects, for example, the Meerkat demo and whatnot, and anything that can run on your machine, depending. Mainly, like, this is massive, but others are okay. The better you will understand the engine and how it can be used for specific goals, like filmmaking and whatnot. Let's switch back to unlet and let's take care of some areas. So I'm gonna keep this to the end. Let's... How is the music? Is it good? So I'm trying actually to create this environment to see if I can come up with cinematic idea or something, but mainly it's for practice on world building for that. But I imagine so much can be automated in future. I just wonder how. It would be so cool. Imagine something like this. How cool it is when you assign specific texture, and based on if it's texture like this, to assign decals on its seams, let's say, or something that will automatically assign decals like this if you have a ceiling. Like, I'm sure it's possible. It's just all information you can feed, and I hope this will be some type of, not hope, this actually is some type of problems we're tackling at with the team. All right. To save us some time, we can come here and select a couple of these, move them away to make sure like we were selecting everything. So we can select this and this. Yeah. I can also press Ctrl G to make a group out of this. So now when I select one of these, I can simply move it as a group, right? And I don't worry about unselecting this, so I can select it again and I can press rotate, and based on this line I can move it where I want, like so here. So let's see, is it what I want? Well, it's not 100% because these are not the exact same. So it seems that I may need to do this. Or make yeah, actually not a great idea, not sure. Well, it's okay. Shift G now, and we can select individually these pieces and move them where we want. So if something is not where we want, it's okay. We can move it where we want. Let me read the chat, and I need to stretch my back or my neck. Tarun Gagdish. Buddy, how are you, Tarun? So this is Tarun here. Just one doubt. Which one would you prefer importing projects for Archviz, for Unreal Engine Archviz, among these softwares, 3ds Max, Rhino, or Blender? And please tell us the reason for it. Just like programming languages, where once you learn the principles of programming, it does not matter what almost language you use because you can achieve the same with everything. It is the same with your tools. There are reasons for each and every one to use Max and Rhino and Blender. It really depends on your background and what you want. Like, there are higher chances you're using Rhino if you're studying architecture, for example, than you are using Blender or Max. And there are also higher chances that you're using Blender if you are an amateur artist who's just getting started, for example. And there are also chances you're using, let's say, 3ds Max because your friends you met in the architectural school are Archviz artists. You can achieve the same results with all of these guys with Unreal Engine, in my opinion. Rhino is kind of different from Max and Blender because it's not a DCC tool. It is a BIM tool, or it's a mix between CAD and BIM tool, Rhino. So there is no, it does not matter, Tarun. To be honest, it really does not matter. Choose, if you're a beginner, I would recommend learning most of them. Wait, hide user. Did you get the spam or something? I hope no. Whatever, like with this spam, sometimes it's annoying. So I highly recommend using Blender, Tarun, if you are new to the industry or not. Do you want free tool that is powerful, great, and amazing? Then Blender. Now, I also highly recommend learning more tools along the way, depending on the type of work you are looking for and the studios and whatnot. But once you learn 3D modeling in Blender or texturing in Blender and or like whatever in anything, the same principles apply everywhere.